Clearing blocks to self-esteem. While the relationship between self-esteem and ego is thought by some to be inversely proportional, generally self-esteem is considered to be part of our ego. Since our ego may be either negative or positive, under or over inflated, our sense of self-esteem is indeed a spectrum, encompassing a wide range of feelings from inadequacy, unlovability, and worthlessness if it is low, to confidence, value, and courage if it is high. Meanwhile, an inflated self-esteem may include attitudes or behaviors such as arrogance, selfishness, or foolish pride, whereas a healthy one involves a more balanced view of oneself, integrating both strengths and weaknesses. Although it may manifest in various ways, extending to a lack of self-care, diet, personal health, or fitness, low self-esteem may also include being overly critical of oneself, a negative mindset, wherewithal, or outlook, or avoiding challenges by reinforcing a comfort zone. Other signs include self-loathing, downplaying or ignoring achievements, blaming oneself or others for external circumstances, or bullying experiences. Factors like negative thinking, limiting beliefs, generational trauma, upbringing, and life circumstances all contribute to our sense of self-esteem and personal power. While traditional psychotherapy or life coaching may also be helpful, treatment often involves inner work on self-concept through affirmation-based rituals, subliminal audio meditations to rewire the subconscious mind, emotional freedom technique or EFT, which taps on meridians to release trapped emotions, and other alternative therapies like hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming or NLP, which help facilitate neuroplasticity. Spiritual response therapy is a very good system for clearing blocks to self-esteem and building self-concept. For more information about how to be trained in SRT, see spiritualresponse.org. Transforming Blockages is another useful multidimensional healing system for improving self-esteem. For more information, please see Jill and Remi's webinar series at Twin Flame Healers and QuantumUnion.com. And as always, please remember to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. I appreciate the energy exchange. Hello, this is the Lady of Shalott, and welcome to this clearing on blocks to self-esteem. So I have assembled a group body and I have prepped it to work ahead of time off camera as usual. And by group body, I'm defining that as all listeners to the Lady of Shalott YouTube channel, now and in the future, the lineages you're connected to. So these may include biological lineages with whom you've shared DNA, but also non-biological lineages, cultural, symbolic, religious, non-religious lineages you may be connected to. I've also included your immediate soul group, extended soul group, monadic level, and all of our high self teams committees. So let's get into the work. In spirit, now, what is the positive negative number that this group body is holding on blocks to self-esteem, please? The positive on this is running at about 60. And what is the negative on blocks to self-esteem? Is running at about 80. Okay. And what is the level of consciousness that this group body is operating as it concerns blocks to self-esteem now? And it is sitting at the level of Holy Spirit consciousness, which is not at the very bottom of chart 3, but it's still rather low on chart 3. So we're going to go ahead and rebalance that positive negative number again from 60 positive, 80 negative to 100% positive, 0% negative, from that of Holy Spirit consciousness, all the way up to Radiant Love New Paradigm. And I'm beginning to douse on that, and you may hear my pendulum clicking in the background. I'm going to start to lay in some clearing statements to assist with this process. It's not important for you to know what all these things mean. Just sit back and receive. Clear through all levels, layers, depths of chart 3, all elevations, vibrations, all 7 or more realities. Clear from inception to present time and into the future. Clear all duplicates, copies, backups, rebuilding, replication programs. Clear mirror images and meld the mirrors. Clear all other programs that may trigger these. Clear anything hidden, buried, covered up, lied about, denied, cursed, or avoided. Body memory, memory impingements, emotional impingements even. Anything else the soul may be hiding in connection to low self-esteem or blocks to self-esteem. Please clear this in 0 time. Again, for all listeners to this recording, now and in the future, the lineages they're connected to. So clear the cellular level, DNA, clan and the ancestors. Clear for the soul group, extended soul group, monadic level, all over high self teams, committees. And any combination, any permutation within this group body. Again, where there's something to be worked with, resolve, release, vis-a-vis blocks to self-esteem. While we're clearing, I'll just take a moment to define Holy Spirit consciousness from the SRT dictionary. Souls who have reached this level can serve incarnated souls to teach and lift them into an awareness of their own divinity. If low self-esteem itself is running as a master program, let's ask to burn the branches, the seeds, the roots. If it's running as a soul program, let's ask to clear. Ego, burn the branches, the seeds, the roots. If it's running as a soul program, let's ask to clear. Selfishness, burn the branches, the seeds, the roots. If it's running as a soul program, let's ask to clear. Unhappiness, burn the branches, the seeds, the roots. Again, if it's running as a soul program, let's ask to clear. And unworthiness, burn the branches, the seeds, the roots. If it's running as a soul program, let's ask to clear. And those are just some of the obvious master programs that come up in connection to self-esteem. Okay, and we're stopping. Where to? Where do we start this clearing? Lords of Karma, God Team, Forces of Light, please. We're starting on chart 15, I Am Level Consciousness Programs. And what programs come up on this chart in connection to self-esteem, please? War in Heaven, the I Am Level Consciousness. What else? Dysfunction of space-time energy. Interesting. Okay, let's get both of those cleared, and then I will define them presently from Detzler's Soul Recreation. Clear through all levels, layers, depths of chart 3. All elevations, vibrations, all 7 or more realities from inception to present time and into the future of this group body. Again, of all listeners now and in the future, clear the cellular level DNA, clan, and the ancestors. Clear for the soul group, extended soul group, monadic level, all of our high self teams, committees. So War in Heaven, the I Am Level consciousness of this, Detzler says that dualism always sets up the energy of conflict, and the proliferation of dualism creates even more conflict. We see this on every hand in our world. We have the dualism of race, creed, countries, and beliefs. The perceived polarity of the male and female, which is so prevalent in our society, is also a program of duality. Yet that is the very nature of the formed world, and there is a great need to balance and harmonize all aspects of life and return to the realization that there is only one and we are it. When we learn to accept things as they are and then to work to bring change through harmony, we will accomplish unity without conflict. As I'm feeling into that, if it's appropriate, Spirit, the conflict itself is running as a master program. Let's ask to burn the branches, the seeds, the roots. If it's running as a soul program, let's ask to clear. And so the space-time energy is also creating conflict. So let's get that definition as well. High Self showed me this as a ripple that was formed in the woof and weave of the fabric of the universe. He has a more extended and up-to-date definition for that in the dictionary. So let me grab that as well while we're here. Okay, I checked, and there isn't more on the dysfunction of space-time energy. But while we're on the subject of conflict, he does go on to define another program called anti-time conflict from Chart 10A. Anti-time is the spiritual realms. As a divine idea, Son of God, we go through a gestation period in the womb of creativity, the Queen of Life, in the spiritual realms, and are created as a spiritual body in the image and likeness of God. That body is a subconscious mind where information is stored. The next body is created at Lord of Lords and is called the living soul with a conscious mind. When the soul is ready to leave the spiritual realms, anti-time, and incarnate, it may experience conflict regarding the purpose of incarnating. Okay. It may feel traumatized by leaving the pure state of spiritual consciousness and entering the state called good and evil, or dualism, like what he was saying in reference to the war in heaven. And of time itself, Detzler also adds, there is no time, space, or sequence in spirit. What we do on this heart planet affects everything in the universe and also reflects forward and backward in all one universes. Time is only a perception of human consciousness, allowing us to deal with the physical world in which we create time and space. On a related note, more recently, spiritual author Eckhart Tolle has conceptualized of time as either vertical or horizontal. Horizontal time has been constructed by man, and it includes past and future tenses, whereas vertical time only exists in the continuous present. What time is it? Now. And so since horizontal time is a construct that is born out of dualism, it also limits our creative potential and thereby our self-esteem. In fact, Detzler even likens the 7 programs listed on Chart 15 to the 7 days of creation as outlined in the first chapter of Genesis. And how would all of this have even been possible without the bending of time or the condition of anti-time, right? Where to next, please, as it concerns clearing blocks to self-esteem, please? Next, we're going to chart 22, the new one universe. And what comes up here in connection to blocks to self-esteem? We're getting awareness of the 9 Godhead councils. What else? Breaking the bonds of the 2600 pathways. Okay, clear through all levels, layers, depths of chart 3. All elevations, vibrations, all 7 or more realities. From inception to present time and into the future, of all listeners, now and in the future. Clear the cellular level, DNA, clan and the ancestors. Clear for the soul group, extended soul group, monadic level, all of our high self teams, committees. Breaking the bonds of the 2600 pathways. There are 2600 pathways that were established at the point of the divine plan at the Godhead. Our soul travels these incarnational pathways back up to the Queen of Life, where we are spiritual bodies and living souls. During our incarnations, programs accumulate and they must be cleared. Yeah, this second program has come up recently, perhaps in the blocks to abundance clearing. And so while we were on chart 15 before, we were talking about some of the conflict that the incarnational path had introduced. Indeed, some of our earliest incarnations where we would have been experiencing duality for the first time would have been during the 2600 pathways. And we can develop bondage to those pathways because we may have experienced a lot of trauma when we first incarnated as an animal, vegetable, mineral, etc. Some of that energy, as I've explained in other clearings, can get hardwired into our nervous system, and we just keep carrying it over until we learn to clear it with a system like SRT, for example. And the other program, Awareness of the 9 Godhead Councils. Before we can enter the Godhead and proceed through its 99 elevations, we have to be approved by the 9 Godhead Councils. These Godhead Councils that take the idea for a new one universe, direct the formation of the plan, set the plan in motion, and oversee the creation of the spiritual realms and the formation of the physical worlds. They are at the Godhead and work directly under the Godhead and do all the things the Godhead desires. So, awareness of the 9 Godhead Councils must be cleared so that we can do the work that the Godhead would have us do. But of course, if we're still in bondage to the 2600 pathways, that awareness would be blocked because there's a correlation between bondage, conflict, and duality, as I've explained before. Once our awareness of the 9 Godhead Councils is restored, we can now reclaim our spiritual sovereignty and in turn our self-esteem and personal power. And we're stopping. Where to next, Spirit? And we're getting chart 30, Final Light. We're getting soul fingerprints. Interesting. And the life stream. Okay, so let's clear both of those. Again, all levels, layers, depths of chart 3, all elevations, vibrations, all 7 or more realities from inception to present time and into the future. Clear the cellular level, DNA, clan and the ancestors. Clear for the soul group, extended soul group, monadic level, all of our high self teams, committees. Again, for all listeners to this recording now and in the future. Okay, so soul fingerprints. These are set up by the 17th group at the God level on chart 3. This is the group in Genesis that said, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness." Just as the physical body of each human being has its own identifying fingerprints, so the soul has its own identifying characteristics. High Self says they cannot explain what these are, just ask that they are cleared. I'm associating that with a snowflake. We all come from spirit, but each of us has our own unique vibrational signature. While some snowflake structures might appear similar, the minute differences in their molecular arrangement and the way they interact with their environment as they fall from the sky ensure that they are all unique. And the life stream? The life stream is from spirit, which flows through the embryo, divine plan, spiritual realms, and into physical expression. All of the elements and factors and experiences of this stream need to be cleared and harmonized for complete resonance of the soul with spirit. This stream was shown to me as sparkles, indicating the countless particles that are involved in the makeup of the stream, most of which involves the education of the soul in the Garden of Eden before it became physical. That's interesting. The sparkles Detzler was describing in the live stream remind me of the snowflake imagery I was getting to represent the soul fingerprints. While man is created in God's image and likeness, as we prepare to incarnate as souls, dysfunctional factors had to be set up as pre-programming so that we wouldn't be a carbon copy of spirit. In SRT, these dysfunctional factors uniquely key our individuated expression. Just as the relationship between self-esteem and ego is generally thought to be inversely proportional, so too is the ego like a double-edged sword. As our human identity consciousness, it protects us from the harsh incarnational world, but it also has the capacity to pinch us off from spirit and in turn our own higher intelligence. As one of the New Age acronyms for ego goes, either we ease God's orders or we edge God out. In his work, multidimensional healer Michael Goldsman has gone so far as to distinguish between a positive and a negative ego. The negative ego is still identified with pain, problems, victimization, and separation consciousness, whereas the positive ego has its truth of identity anchored in spirit. As we grow, heal, and ascend, increasingly we no longer resonate with those dysfunctional factors that set us apart. Thus, we can start to more fully embody this positive egoic consciousness. So as we've done in other clearings, let's do that now. Let's ask to clear the negative egoic consciousness, which may still be identified with pain, problems, and victimization, down to 0%. And let's ask to dial up the positive egoic consciousness, which has its truth of identity in spirit, to 100%. Okay, where to next, please? We're getting chart 2, themes and challenges, soul qualities. Okay. So what comes up here in connection to clearing blocks to self-esteem for this group body, please? Lords of Karma, God Team, Forces of Light. Okay, we're getting that this is out picturing as blocks we're experiencing in the life area, career, and work. Okay, that's interesting. So let's go ahead and get those blocks from chart 6A. Spirit, what is blocking our career and work performance, accomplishments, and success vis-a-vis self-esteem? We're getting inside envy. So perhaps we're comparing ourselves to others. What else? Outside self-centeredness? Or we're making our career and work more of a priority than relationships under the guise of negative ego. Inside conflict. That came up earlier in connection to the war in heaven. So overambition may be leading to power struggles. Yes. Outside greed. Perhaps our goals are still more aligned with materialism or scarcity consciousness than our true soul's calling. Anything else? Insanity. The rat race may feel like insanity. Alas, when we keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, that too is the definition of insanity, isn't it? Anything else? And we're getting low self-esteem itself. Clear through all levels, layers, depths of chart 3, all elevations, vibrations, all 7 or more realities. Clear from inception to present time and into the future. If any of these energies are also running as their own master programs or as soul programs, this has to burn the branches, the seeds, the roots. Clear all duplicates, copies, backups, rebuilding, replication programs. Clear mirror images, meld the mirrors of all listeners now and in the future. Clear the cellular level DNA, clan and the ancestors. Clear for the soul group, extended soul group, monadic level, all of our high self teams, committees. Now these seem to be primarily impacting the solar plexus chakra here, especially the low self-esteem itself, the self-centeredness, the envy. I don't think we got injustice, but right, we got conflict. So What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the etheric body behind the solar plexus chakra. And I'm going to ask to go into transforming blockages now. So remove and bind anything demonic, satanic, luciferic sources of all evil attachments, entities, implants, cords, psychic hooks, psychic ties, soul fragments, binding agents. Revoke permission, remove and bind. Kali, Astrea, Krishna, and beyond to escort these dark forces to their perfect place or to the lights. Good. Reclaiming any lost soul fragments now and cleansing. Isis, Osiris, please to help us perform a soul retrieval. Reintegrating the fragments now with the soul through all levels, layers, bodies, minds, past, present, future, forward and backward, please. Putting the solar plexus chakra back together again. We're going to use purple flame this time, and we're going to bring in Sunakamara, Lord Maitreya. They do serve on the 6th ray of peace. Blazing this energy center with purple flame. Asking to cut cords between us and those around us, draining our energy down. To do this, we take the purple flame and we can visualize the high beings pushing the flame through the cord. It dissolves, or the peskier ones explode. And this is where there are negative energy cords. Now we can conceptualize the cords as being attached to people we're connected with that may be blocking or inhibiting our self-esteem in some way. But since this was coming through as a block to career work, these may be co-workers we're connected to, past, present, future. Could have been people we served with on mission in other lifetimes, or our ancestors served with on mission in other lifetimes. Okay, and while I'm in here, if it's appropriate to repair solar plexus energy cords, and as I've explained in other clearings, this is significant, especially for twin flames and soulmates, where we share chakra docking cords. So if we have an active existing soul contract to form a romantic reunion with our sacred partner, let's go ahead and ask to repair the solar plexus energy cords. Just Sunakamara, Lord Maitreya, checking for any cracks, fissures, tears. Repair with that purple flame. Good. Okay, so now we're going to download 6B energies to replace what we just cleared on the blocks to career work that came up in connection to blocking our self-esteem. Okay, so download and apply. We can also think of this as blessing the solar plexus energy center with these elevated emotions or positive expressions. Download and apply through all levels, layers, depths of chart 3, all elevations, vibrations, all 7 or more realities from inception to present time and into the future of all listeners now and the future. Cellular level, DNA, clan, and the ancestors, soul group, extended soul group, monadic level, all of our high self teams, committees. Yes, I do feel the vibration rising, consciousness expanding, as it usually does when I do work on this chart. When we do a clearing, it's not just about the blocks and discordant energies we're transmuting. It's also important to replace what we remove with positive expressions. Not only does this help us embody our positive egoic consciousness more fully, it also helps us to increase our light quotient. Indeed, we can only manifest to the extent to which we can allow. Since we've been guided to concentrate on themes and challenges around career and work, the effects of this clearing may integrate as new creative downloads, 5D business plans, new side hustles, sudden recognition, public honor, possibly long overdue, and other new business opportunities. Okay, let's see, what have we downloaded, please? Inside abundance. Okay, so that could include a raise or sudden promotion for some. Outside love and love of God. Outside optimism. Good, so we're feeling better about ourselves and more hopeful. Outside tolerance, which could extend to sportsmanship and compersion. Self-preservation, especially if we're in a toxic workplace and we've given it our all and nothing is changing around us, then this may be a sign that it's time to move on. Indeed, leaving that workplace may be an act of self-preservation itself even. What else? Outside, relaxation. So we may need to surrender more to align with the results we seek. Inside, courtesy. Anything else? Inside, we've also downloaded consideration. Okay. All right, let's get the positive negative number on what we have cleared thus far for blocks to self-esteem for this group body, please. What is the positive on that? We're up to about 90. And what is the negative on blocks to self-esteem? Is down to about 20. Okay, where to next, please? Okay, we're getting chart 16, the fall of consciousness. Now we're getting cast out of heaven, which is similar to the program we cleared earlier on chart 15, the war in heaven. What else? We're getting loss of spiritual sight. That's interesting because I think we cleared loss of spiritual hearing in another recent clearing as well. So some of us may be psychic, clairvoyant, a seer, and intuitive. Clear through all levels, layers, depths of chart 3, all elevations, vibrations, all 7 or more realities. Clear from inception to present time and into the future of all listeners now and in the future. Clear the cellular level DNA, clan and the ancestors. Clear for the soul group, extended soul group, monadic level, all of our high self teams, committees. If it's appropriate to clear psychic wounds that come up in connection to the loss of spiritual sight, especially where we may have revoked our spiritual gifts in other lifetimes, just in a very broad spectrum way, anything that can be cleared there without research, let's ask that that be done as appropriate for this group body as well. And so sometimes we or our ancestors may have revoked our spiritual gifts as a form of self-protection in other lifetimes if we were a victim of religious trauma or spiritual persecution from channeling, teaching, or practicing witchcraft, herbalism, midwifery, and other healing and arcane arts. We may have been shunned, publicly shamed, cursed, ostracized, or even executed for using our psychic gifts in a community where they weren't understood or appreciated. In fact, I noticed some lightworkers have started referring to this as the persecution imprint even. Sounds like a hot topic for a future clearing, so stay tuned. Cast out of heaven. As long as we believe that we are cast out of heaven or the consciousness of spirit, we must strive to change that belief, or we will continue to be feel separated from spirit and lost in a world of illusion. I've actually worked with people who have had a strong belief that they caused the, war in heaven and were cast out of heaven into utter darkness. And the other program, loss of spiritual sight. Falling into darkness has affected our spiritual sight, and to a large degree, we see only the outer world. Until complete spiritual sight is restored, we will continue to wander in the darkness of the incarnational world, paying obedience to the illusion of its false reality. So what both of these programs have in common is the mention of darkness and illusion. The darkness of the mind is an ignorance, which continues to outpicture as a false reality and a harsh incarnational world until we can move beyond the limitations of our negative ego and awaken to the truth of our being. Another thing that is palpable is the energy of self-punishment, and with cast out of heaven, especially that of self-blame. If we assign blame, then we lose sight of our ESP, our extrasensory perception. Abraham Hicks has referred to this as pinching oneself off from source energy, and thereby our positive ego, higher self, and in turn, broader perspective. Okay, where to next, please? What is the positive negative number on clearing blocks to self-esteem? Now we're up to about 98, and what is the negative? It's about 5. So it looks like there's one more small thing that wants to be cleared here. And where is it? What chart? Something on chart 7, direct healing processes, colors. Okay, that's interesting. We don't often go to that chart, although I do usually ask to download and apply the full chart as appropriate and mop up. So there's something here that Spirit may want to bring to our conscious attention in the way of a healing modality. Clearing blocks to self-esteem for this group body, please. Okay, the brain tuner is coming up. That's interesting. Any other healing processes, colors? Your right to know. So that is the name of a publication. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to download and apply both of those. Those are direct healing processes. And then I will define both of those for you. So download and apply through all levels, layers, depths of chart 3, all elevations, vibrations, all 7 or more realities from inception to present time and into the future, please. Again, of all listeners now and in the future, clear the cellular level, the DNA, clan, and the ancestors, clear for the soul group, extended soul group, monadic level, all of our high self teams, committees. Brain tuners are based on the principle that specific frequencies can influence the brain's electrical activity and induce shifts in consciousness. Specifically, EEG is a test that measures the brain's electrical activity through electrodes placed on the scalp. This activity is characterized by different brainwave frequencies such as delta, theta, alpha, beta, or gamma that are associated with various states of consciousness. EEG and neurofeedback is also a useful diagnostic tool for treating PTSD and other traumas. Binaural beats, which have become more popular in the recent years, can also act like a brain tuner, inducing different states of brainwave activity. Thus, another modality that may be helpful for clearing blocks to self-esteem include subliminal audios with binaural beats for self-concept. While free YouTube channels that offer this sound technology are a good starting place, for more robust results, see brainsyncs.com. And the other direct healing process we're downloading, Your Right to Know, is a book by Andrew Kimbrell from 2007. It is a comprehensive and unique reference guide to the health risks of genetically engineered and modified food, organic options, and how to fight the corporate agro-industrial takeover of the food we eat. That's interesting. So there's a correlation between GMO foods and low self-esteem. Since these have essentially become the modern cash crops, maybe it's because conventional produce is cheaper? If you're willing to buy organic, this is a non-issue. And increasingly, non-GMO foods have become labeled on consumer products as more consciousness has grown about the associated health risks from this and other publications in the past few decades. Common GMO crops include corn, soy, canola, sugar beets, alfalfa, cotton, potatoes, papaya, even a few apple varieties. Such GMOs may be used in a variety of food products, including animal feed, and in GMO derivatives like corn syrup, soy, and canola oils, which may or may not be labeled, so be on the lookout for those. Okay. Is there anything else that wants to be included in this clearing today on blocks to self-esteem? And I'm getting a no. Okay, so we're going to head into mop-up now. And I'm going to start dowsing on a full wrap-up, mop-up checklist. And if you were to book a personal healing call with me, I would go through the whole list. If you'd like to book a healing call with me, all the details for how to do so are listed beneath this video. And if you are a first-time client to the Lady of Shalott, you receive 25% off. So working with the God team, forces of light, angels of light, on the other side of life with our 200 plus charts, asking to clear anything we haven't known to clear here today as it concerns blocks to self-esteem. Asking to resolve 100% of 100% of all remaining programs on 100% of 100% of all remaining charts. Asking to clear anything not on charts. Good. Clear Alpha to Omega, ensuring our records are clean, cleared, organized, brought up to date to reflect the full benefits of this particular clearing today. Making any necessary tweaks, adjustments, changes to our pre-birth plan, activate our divine blueprint, bringing on board more of our soul's original gifts to help serve us on this next leg of the incarnational, or it may be an ascension journey. Clearing away any accidents, injuries, dementia we may have pre-planned, illnesses we may have pre-planned. Asking any ancestors who joined us today that they be returned to the spiritual realms from which they emerged. Thank you, ancestors. We ask you to send forth your blessings. If there's any mind-body work that wants to be included, in addition to the brain tuner and the full download and application of the You Have the Right to Know publication about the GMO foods. Let's ask that that be done automatically with healing angels, healing committees to help assist, angels of light to help assist. So this may include brain cell restructuring, organs, glands, cells, tissues that wish to be treated, homotoxicology done. More direct healing processes, colors from chart 7 that wish to be fully downloaded, applied. Healing shapes, patterns from spiritual healing therapy. Let's ask to attune, calibrate to the optimum level for health and well-being for this group body. Could be 200 courage, 350 willingness, 500 love, 600 peace. If anyone can be granted a zero-time clearing, we ask that that be done. Otherwise, we ask healing angels, healing committees to continue to run energy until that attunement calibration set point has been reached. Asking them to conduct a head-to-toe search and clear, asking them to seek out, find out, locate the source of the affliction, the source of the malady, the source of the dis-ease or illness even. Just in a very broad spectrum way. And sealing this particular clearing in, ensuring it is made permanent, resolving all the reasons why we might want to recreate anything we cleared here today or to create something similar in the future. Let's ask that that be cleared too. Durga Almura, please to help with grounding and integration, clear the sacrum, the root, the legs, the ankles, the feet, the space between the feet, the space beneath the feet, clear and activate the chakras at the soles of the feet, and ground down onto Earth Star Chakra, or it may be onto grounding cord with Mother Gaia and Archangel Sandalphon. Good. And as usual, I will end with 2 chakra vowel tones to help with the integration process. A tone for the root, but I will also use the tone for the solar plexus. So since we did do a little work on the solar plexus earlier, we released dark energies, entities, attachments from the etheric body. So the tone that I'll use for the solar plexus is O, O-H, as in go. So we'll take a deep breath, and then on the exhale, we'll tone O. And if you'd like to join me, feel free to do so. And then a tone for the root we'll use as usual, U-H, Good. Thank you, thank you, thank you.